I'm here to see Sokrates.
Kassandra!
You know who I am?
Of course I do. Sokrates never stops talking about you.
And you are?
His wife, of course. I'm Xanthi.
Sokrates never told me he had a wife.
Typical. The only time he's quiet is when he's eating. Yet he can't find time to mention me.
So where is Sokrates? I got a note that said to meet him here.
That's what I'd like to know. He went to another symposium last night, and he didn't come home after.
Sounds like a good place to start looking.
I was just about to head there myself. Come, keep me company.
Alright, so hello everybody, welcome back to Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the final time. So this is the last Lost Tale of Greece, which will complete all of the DLCs that they have for this game, or at least that they have planned. If anything else drops, it'll be a very big surprise. So yeah, this one's all about Sokrates.
That doesn't surprise me.
Even so, it's worth the frustration. His mind is like no other. Not to mention, he's quite a good lover.
That is not something I wanted to picture. It must be why Alcibiades seems so infatuated with him.
Don't mention that name around me. Always coming by drunk, sending Sokrates gifts like giant cakes.
I didn't know.
It's fine.
God. So yeah, I think this has something to do with rescuing Sokrates, but I'm not 100% on it. I didn't read up that much on it. I think that's what it is. Maybe Sokrates gives you trials. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. It's gonna probably be interesting if it's their final DLC. They probably put a lot more into it than the rest of the Lost Tales.
Xantippe!
What is it?
Sokrates! They took him away. They said he was under arrest.
For what?
I have no idea. We were just talking after the symposium. I'd say go ask him yourself, but he'll be guarded. They took him southeast of here.
That fool! I knew this would happen to him one day.
I'll find him. Don't worry.
This is his doing. It's best to let these things run their course.
I can't believe Sokrates was arrested. I need to find out what happened.
Really? You can't believe he was arrested? I mean, like she said, it was bound to happen sooner or later. So that might be what the trial, because you know it says like trials of Sokrates. I assume that it would be like Sokrates giving us trials to do, because like he did like to give us like little moral quandaries where it's like, hey, find the horse thief, and then you know what should we do with him and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I expected this to just be, like a DLC, just like all based around like that kind of stuff. And then even when like I read something about saving him, I didn't really think anything of it. It's like it still wouldn't surprise me if he just made saving him harder, like wasn't actually captured in the end or some shit. But no, apparently by trials it means trials. Hey buddy. As you can see, I changed my armor around. I was wearing the the DeCostis armor, I do believe, last time. And I don't have a dual takedown, right? Like I have to do it this way. Oh, right, but I do have that. I forgot that I have my AoE assassination damage. I forgot that was a thing. Right. It's so good. It's really the only way to do like a dual assassination. Granted, you can do a lot more than a dual assassination with it, but I miss this game. If it wasn't so long, I would play through it again just in my off time, but it's way too long to do that, unfortunately. I still think that I would probably still play through as Kassandra and still probably make like the exact same choices, but I don't know. It's just fun.
Kassandra, what are
I
you
really
doing?
hope the next one is
I
just
could ask
this,
you the
but
same.
slightly better.
Well, here I am.
Hang on.
Though I'm more curious about how you are here. The gods let you in?
I only had to tell them how close we are, and they let me come see you.
Ah, then you used what you learned from me. I'm impressed.
My words cut very, very deep.
Your care is appreciated, but if you had waited only a bit longer, I'm sure my trial would have taken place and I'd be free.
You're not going to trial. We're getting you out of here.
I understand your concern, but what good would escaping do other than prove I'm guilty? No. In fact, I'm looking forward to this trial.
You would go to trial just to prove you can convince them of your innocence?
Exactly. You have your ways to find excitement, and I have mine.
What were you arrested for?
I haven't the slightest idea.
And that doesn't bother you?
Sometimes understanding does not come at the moment we would like. More importantly, this is giving me the necessary time to think.
About?
I went to see the Pythia, and she told me there is none wiser than me. An intriguing thought, and one I've been unable to stop thinking about.
Sokrates. The Pythia is...
It matters not what you believe she is or she isn't. I must examine not only her words, but my own self as well. I know nothing, so how could I be called wise?
What does that have to do with being locked up?
I believe my time here and this trial may help me find the answer. I will be fine. Trust me.
I've known you for a while now.
That's true.
And you'd call us friends?
I would.
And friends share important things with one another. Is that so?
It is.
Then how did I not know you were married? From what you just said, that means either we're not friends, or that friends don't share with one another. So, which is it?
I've wondered how much of our conversation you've taken to heart. And now, I have my answer.
Were you doing anything when you got arrested?
If speaking my mind is worth imprisonment, then I suppose I was.
In the future, you may want to be more careful.
You risk life and limb every time you draw your blade. Just because it's my tongue that is sharp, doesn't mean I'm not prepared to face the consequences of using it.
Fair enough.
Since you won't leave with me, I'll go see the Pythia myself.
That's not necessary.
I'll find out why she told you that. I won't let you go to trial, even if you think you'll be found innocent.
Ah, Kassandra, you...
I'll come back when I have what I need.
You know, I completely forgot about, like, Sokrates and his whole, like, should you be killing everyone even though they're just doing their job thing. Otherwise, I would have knocked them out. I don't think that my knockout, though... Because technically that does count as assassination damage, I think. But I don't know if that would activate the AoE thing. So that obviously still wouldn't have worked well for me. I mean, there's obviously other ways I could have got past them, but... Like, I do have knockout arrows and the such. Although, obviously, knockout arrows probably wouldn't have been the best option.
Careful. Don't want to be caught here.
It's fine. Finding one's voice. Which way am I going? 1,000 meters that way. Alright, I maybe have a fast travel. I was going to say, because I've been to see the Pythia before. And, you know, it's an important person, so there's probably a fast travel next to them. I really do miss this game, though. And I'm sad that they still haven't, at least as far as I'm aware, still haven't announced the next Assassin's Creed game. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, the series just needs to die. And it's like, no, it doesn't. I mean, it keeps changing. Like, they changed the gameplay around a lot. Like, obviously, with Unity and Syndicate, they went with a different combat style than they had in the previous games. And, you know, with Origins and Odyssey here, they went with yet another combat style, and they went really open world. Because, I mean, technically all the Assassin's Creed games are open world to some degree, but I mean, like, they went, like, severely open world. in all honesty, I think, I don't know, because I was gonna, like, I don't know which, like, because gameplay wise, I obviously prefer Odyssey, which makes sense. It's just a straight improvement over what Origins was, but story wise, I'm not actually sure which one I prefer.
Oh no, not you.
You remember me?
Just go. I'm too old for you.
Because, like, I mean, it wasn't like I said, like, the individual stories in this weren't necessarily bad. It's just that they weren't connected enough for my liking, you know? Fucking love that I can do that, by the way. This hero strike, everyone dead. Talk to the Pythia. Where the fuck is she? Probably downstairs. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I know. You're not too happy with me either, because I do believe I threatened the fuck out of you last time I was
There
here.
might be a bit of blood when you go upstairs.
You again?
I'm here for a different reason.
After last time, they tortured me. I thought they were going to kill me, just like I told you. It hurt so badly, I begged for death.
I didn't mean for that to happen.
Just hurry, and tell me what you want.
There's something you need to know. The cult is dead.
What do you mean, they're dead?
Just that. I've killed them all. There is nobody left to control you.
You may have unmasked those who made the decisions, but the cult did not die with them. Their beliefs will live on.
Then I'll find and kill whoever follows them.
That is not a possible task. Now, tell me what you want.
You told Sokrates something, and I want to know why.
Questioning why the Pythia speaks is a strange thing.
I know why you speak, and I know who controls your voice. Tell me why the cult had you tell Sokrates he's the wisest.
The cult didn't tell me to say that. I did that on my own.
The cult wouldn't allow you to do that.
Which is why I was very careful. I seek Sokrates as an ally, but simply asking him to help wouldn't have worked.
An ally for what?
I know much of Sokrates. Not only has he visited me often, but his students do as well.
Get to the point.
You know the gods don't speak through me. I feel Sokrates is the one who can convince others of this. If he succeeds, the cult will have no more need for me.
So you're hoping he comes to the conclusion that the gods don't exist?
It matters not if Sokrates believes they exist. He needs simply to doubt that the gods speak through me.
I understand why you think Sokrates can help, but why tell him he's the wisest?
He'll delve into what it means to be wisest. It's my hope he'll conclude he's not, and therefore doubt the words of the gods.
Makes sense.
If you just told him your words aren't from the gods, wouldn't that serve the same purpose? And much quicker?
Sokrates is not the type to desire the answer so easily. He'll have more drive when he finds the answer on his own.
Also makes sense.
This is getting complicated.
Whatever you do, you can't tell Sokrates.
I understand. He has to come to the answer on his own.
Exactly. Although, if you truly wish to help Sokrates, a student of his came by not long before you. He seemed distraught.
Distraught?
He was clutching a book tightly to his chest and kept looking over his shoulder. He told me he was going into a tomb nearby until things were safe.
Thank you. I'll find him.
I mean, if the people who make the decisions, I mean, I guess the people who make the decisions for the cult are dead. But obviously any orders that they had given before they died would obviously still be in effect. Right? So, like, she's not quite wrong that the
This is it.
there you go. That the cult will live on. I mean, like, that it has to, right? Because, like, there's still places where the cult exists gameplay wise, so they kind of need a story reason for them to exist, and it does make sense. I mean, the cult wasn't just the 50 or so people that, you know, were in charge, obviously. And by all means, there had to have been other cultists who would have been able to take the place of the people I killed. And because I killed their predecessor, especially now that I went through all of them, I mean, anybody who's still like giving orders and that would obviously be being way more careful. Like, well, I mean, I guess the original leaders were being pretty fucking careful to begin with, but I mean, they would be even more careful if possible, so that
Find the boy and take the papyrus.
Sorry for sharing my fear of tombs with you.
What was that?
Nothing.
oh god, that guy did not die. Also, I found out that I actually have like another like First Civilization sword that isn't like that really big, bulky looking one. I also didn't know which sword I was wielding, so I just changed both of them to that. Okay, so he is somewhere in here. So he might be up there. He might be through that crack, but I don't know if they would put NPCs. I guess as long as I don't have to escort him out, because I doubt that the NPCs would go through those cracks, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't be on the other side. Because while they did give Kassandra and Alexios, obviously, the animations to go through it, it doesn't mean that they took the time to apply those animations. Because I imagine, like, it looks fine when we do it, but I imagine watching an NPC go through one of those would look weird as shit. Also reasonably certain that I, wait a minute. Sounds like something's coming from this crack. No. Ow, snake. God, this snake's still doing a lot of fucking damage. So now the question is he this way or is he the other way? Oh, okay, no, it did light. It's good at least to keep track of your progress through the tombs. Oh my god. Is it really because like she's not touching the top of it? There we go. Because then at least like I'll know if there's a fire that I've been there already. So
His tomb is bigger than I thought. He has to be around here somewhere.
I mean, oh god. I mean, he does have to be somewhere, but, it, you know... Oh my god, the snakes, man. They're still probably one of the most annoying enemies in this game. Alright, so I have another hole that I can slip through there. Oh, yeah, I see you. Oop. Oh, I missed. No, no, got him. Alright. Alright, God, I don't know. These tombs are pretty fucking big to be looking for a person just somewhere in them. Jesus Christ. I guess they really wanted to make the snakes a threat in this one. I don't remember them doing that much damage. But I highly doubt that that's something that they would have bothered to update. I mean, the only reason I could see anybody updating, like, the damage an enemy does, especially like an enemy like that, would be if it was like an insta-kill or something, right? Because I could see people getting upset enough over like an insta-kill enemy that they would want to change it. You know, I highly doubt that I have better equipment in my inventory. Alright, so he's not in here. So he must be through... I mean, to be fair, I may very well have went like 100% the wrong way. And went through the wrong crack. Fucking hell. Although... Oh, he's right here. I did find him.
You don't need to be scared now. I'm not with them.
That doesn't mean you won't kill me. You just want this for yourself.
I'm a friend of Sokrates.
You are? Prove it.
Sokrates is one of the most frustrating people I've ever known. He just talks and talks and talks. And it feels like he asks questions just so he can continue talking and talking and talking.
What you call frustrating, I call brilliant. But it's clear you know him well.
Why were those men after you?
For some reason, they wanted these writings of Socrates's. Well, I wrote them, but it's all his words.
That seems like a strange thing to want.
One of them had a big mouth. He mentioned something about the priest at the sanctuary of Athena Pronea. He said this was the final thing they needed to get rid of Sokrates.
I've always been curious. What does Sokrates teach you?
So much. Follow him around for an entire day and you won't be able to sleep. Your mind will be so aflutter with thoughts.
I'm not sure I'd last a whole day with him. What drew you to Sokrates?
I've never met a man like him and I don't think I ever will again. Every day with him is one worth waking up for.
I'll take care of the priests.
Thank you. And, well, please, give this to Sokrates. It hurts me to say this after all I've learned from him, but I have a family. I can't risk being caught up in whatever this is.
So you're going to stop being his student?
It feels I have no choice. Maybe one day that will change.
I'll be sure to give him the writings.
Thank you. Make sure he stays safe. The world will be a worse place without him in it.
That student gave me an idea. Xantippe said there was a symposium. Maybe I can convince the others who were there to help Sokrates.
Maybe.
Not sure why the priests want Sokrates gone, but I need to take care of them.
Do you though? I mean, wouldn't it be better to find out why they want him gone first? Alright. Find and talk to the philosophers. Well, that's a lot closer than evidence and priest killed. Nope, straight up dead. Alright. I mean, this is obviously a lot closer. So we shall do this one. I wonder if we're going to find out what he was arrested for. I mean, he might have very well just been arrested on, like, just nothing, basically. Just so that, like, they had a reason to put him on trial and then, you know, just fudge the trial so that they can, you know, execute him, maybe. I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see, but...
Maybe?
Alright, let's see. Too many things in my body crack when I move. It's
Do not
probably not
students
good.
take what they learn from their teachers? What then if the teacher is wrong? Does that not simply perpetuate these wrong teachings amongst future generations?
Yeah.
You assume the students aren't wise enough to understand the flaws of the teacher. Think of those who came before us. First Thales, then his student Anaximandros, and then Anaximenes. Without the teachings of those before him, it's safe to say Anaximenes would not have reached the conclusions he did.
I don't think that's true at all. Oh, perhaps this new phase can offer a different perspective.
A student gets to take all the knowledge of their teacher without needing to come up with answers themselves. If they're smart, they should surpass those they studied under.
An astute observation. The time saved by receiving the knowledge allows the student not only to expand on the ideas, but to come up with more of their own. But what if the student expands on ideas without first seeking the truth behind them?
If a student asks questions before first learning from their teacher, they've not only failed their teacher, but themselves.
Yes, and more would do well to challenge what they hear.
Your appearance betrays you, Mystios. Clearly, you've taken on a teacher of your own.
Something like that. He's the reason I'm here. Sokrates needs your help.
Sokrates? Ha! If it's another debate you want, it will be hard for us to decide who hates that man more. Why would we help him?
It doesn't matter if he's your worst enemy. If they're willing to imprison someone like Sokrates only for his words, what's to say they won't do the same to you?
So, you want us to help out of fear of being imprisoned ourselves?
I don't care why you help. If I hadn't said his name, would you think it was right Sokrates was locked up?
If it's as you say, and it was for his words, then no.
And aren't you afraid it could happen to you, too?
Of course. If we can't speak our minds, what else are we to do?
If you believe that, then you should help.
Fine, fine. You've made your point, and you've made it well. Sokrates deserves our help, but we don't give it lightly.
That makes it worth even more.
We'll be on our way then. We'll gather some others as well. Make sure our voices are heard. Believe it or not, we're pretty good at causing a scene.
If you're like Sokrates, that's not hard to believe.
Wow, I've never seen someone convince them so easily before.
Is that so? I guess I should feel proud. I'm surprised to see a child here.
Is there an age at which it would suddenly be okay to debate with them? What then of the night before I turned that age? Should we be prevented from doing what we wish due to the world's view of us?
I regret doubting you at all.
Thank you. There are few things greater than gaining the understanding of another.
On that, we disagree.
Disagreements can lead to even more understanding.
God.
You're the first kid I've met who'd rather debate than play.
Don't tell the others, but I'm envious that you're a student of Sokrates. I hope one day to be as well.
You're on the right path. What's your name?
Aristocles. Although I've never liked that name much.
It does sound like countless others I've heard around Athens. Why not choose another?
I can do that? Huh. My brother always had a problem saying my name, so he called me Plato instead. Perhaps I'll use that.
I like it.
Thank you. Well, I better hurry after the others. Here.
See, now, the thing about that, right, is it makes no sense that Aristocles would get shortened to Plato. Like, I get what they're doing, but Plato is not anywhere near Aristocles. Like, oh, what the hell was it? There was some show that I was watching. Oh no, it's in Final Fantasy. I've been playing Final Fantasy 15, and Noct couldn't say Luna Freya's name for whatever reason when they were kids, so he just called her Luna, which is like, all right, there you go. That makes perfect sense, right? It's like he just used part of the name that he could say. But Plato and Aristocles, unless there's like a very like weird translation where in Greek those two things would actually be close to each other, I mean, it's very odd that that's what would happen. It's also very odd that I just don't have an option of killing these priests, considering the whole like Sokrates and and everything that he says, right? Like I should have an option. Although I know, because it says kill the priest and steal the evidence. I was gonna say maybe it's just or steal the evidence, but no, it does say and. So that means I do not currently have the choice. I also wonder if like my AoE assassinations there would kill non-hostiles as well. I would have to imagine it does.
I don't want to be spotted here.
Just because I don't see how. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that soldiers and civilians have different like designations in like the code of the game. So I mean, it wouldn't be out of place to say that like that ability when it activates doesn't affect civilians or something, right? Okay, so let's now, unfortunately, the AoE thing also doesn't take effect if there isn't anyone around to AoE, Sanctuary of Athena, whatever. Pronea. I don't, okay, well, whatever. It's an Athena sanctuary anyway. Okay, let's get across here. Okay, so we got 2 priests and 2 evidence, one of which I was apparently just about to skip past. Got a guard here that I will need to take out. Ooh, well, I guess if I wait for that one to get close enough, the AoE will take him as well.
Huh?
So there's that, and then that's got to be the evidence. Okay, now let's see, am I going to have an easy time getting in here? It doesn't particularly look like it. The fuck? Why is that? Oh, maybe there was one more.
Those priests must be the ones who hired the thugs and want to get rid of Sokrates.
Oh, whoops. Let's see, did that work? It did not. fine, 'cause that'll take
Now
care
that all
of
the
them.
priests are dead, they won't be able to testify against Sokrates.
Oh. Nah, you didn't see nothing. Oh, right. My ability will destroy or will get rid of the bodies, but not the ones that are affected by the AoE. That's right. Forgot that was a that was maybe an oops on my part for leaving that one there then. Well, that's fine. I can get in here and get this evidence probably pretty easily. And there's all the evidence. Alright.
I should return to Sokrates before the trial starts.
Deposition, opposition. Alright. So that's taken care of. So now at least the trial will be fair. You're such a Socrates, really. Which is way back over here. Alright, so fast travel again. Alright. Yeah, I really, since it was based around Socrates, I really expected more, like, decision-making type stuff, considering that, like, most of the time when you find him in the game, you know, he's always giving you those, like, morality choices and stuff like that. It's also nice that, like, the answers that I could give to those guys, like, that's 100% what I would believe. Like, it makes sense, right? It's like why every generation is always better with technology than the generation before it, because, you know, they didn't have to learn the basics. Like, not only did the technology become easier to use, due to the previous generation's work on it, they also started with I don't know, easier explanations, I guess. Like, trying to explain to somebody how to use something that they have no idea about is obviously hard. But, like, growing up with something like that, right? It's like the same reason why it's like, you know, kids in that they learn, well, in my case, English, like, super well because they grow up with it around them. Whereas then when most people go to learn yet another, like, a second language, it's obviously significantly harder to learn that second language. Also, I did not... Look, I didn't want to fight you guys. I was just coming to see my friend that was here. You happen to be standing outside the house. Do you mind? Thank you. Alright, Socrates.
Sokrates, you're here.
I am.
What happened? The trial couldn't have taken place that quickly.
Had I been given the chance to defend myself, it would have been quick indeed. But unfortunately for me, I was let free before I could.
That's good news.
Apparently, those who had charges to bring against me were found dead. And evidence they claimed to have went missing.
It sounds like someone was looking out for you.
There were also some people protesting my arrest, I was told. I have to ask, did you have something to do with this?
Do you really need to ask?
No, but you still deserve the chance to answer.
Did you have time to find an answer for the Pythia's words?
I thought it would have taken much longer than it did, but the moment I stopped thinking about it, it came to me like a flash of Zeus's lightning.
So, do you agree with Pythia or not?
The gods cannot lie. Yet, I know that I know nothing. I had to understand what it meant for one who knows nothing to be called wise. I realized that though the Pythia said my name, she did not mean me.
Who did she mean then?
That is not an answer I'd yet like to voice. It's one that people may not want to hear, and I must think on how I wish to share my new beliefs with Athens.
Whatever it is, be careful. I don't want to find you've been arrested again.
I don't
get
know
you
if
home.
her plan worked
I'm
now or
sure you'll be
not.
more comfortable there.
In some ways, that will be true. In others, well, Kathan Pipi will decide that. Being free feels good, but I don't believe Xanthippe will be happy with me.
She has a good reason to be mad this time.
We argue often about how I need to be careful with what I say and what I said. This will only give her more cause to bring it up.
That doesn't sound very fun.
Oh, you misunderstand. I love it.
You do?
People see Xanthippe and believe it is her beauty that drew me to her. But it is her argumentative spirit I lust for.
Nobody ever likes that about me.
Having my opinions and thoughts challenged helps me to refine them and to grow as a person.
And she likes these arguments?
I doubt it, but it is in those fiery moments that her spirit is strongest, like an untamed horse.
Don't call her a horse to her face.
I'm afraid your advice is a bit too late.
Oh no. I mean, it's her, like, she has the spirit of an untamed horse. It's, oh.
Get somewhere safe, Sokrates.
It's not like he's saying that she looks like a horse or anything.
I wonder what that was about.
Well, that's the
Things I do?
cultist.
Sometimes hard to know.
Let's hurry back before anything else happens.
Oh, why do I have a bounty hunter tracking me? And why is he right there? Like, he fucking spawned in front of me. I saw him and his fucking bear materialize. That AoE is also very useful for situations like that where I, you know, miss the target and hit the one behind them, but thankfully that doesn't come up too often with that. I usually don't have to quickly do it. I am honestly, like, really fucking tempted to start, like, New Game Plus with this. Like, with all my gear and that I have, like, this game would be so fucking easy, probably, but it would be so fun. Especially, like, the AoE assassinations, just, like, drop down in the middle of a group of guards and just all of them die. Just, like, all of them drop. Like, you stab one and all of them drop around you.
I'm ready to return to Athens. I've had enough of Phokis and his talk of the Pythia.
You will be happy to hear I have no need for her words any longer.
Ah, then something positive came out of this after all.
I just remembered. A student of yours has been taking notes of your teachings. He wanted you to have them. What did you do that for?
Nobody asked him to write down my words.
Even so, why not keep it? Share it with others.
Because of a story I was told as a boy.
All right, let's hear it.
The king of Egypt, Thamos, was visited by the god Thephtha. Thephtha offered the invention of writing to the king and told him it was an elixir of memory and wisdom. But Thamos disagreed. He believed the people would no longer use their memories, for they would simply read instead. These written words would not offer true wisdom, but only the appearance of such.
You don't want your own words written down, so others can't use them to pretend to be smart.
Much like creatures in a painting, the words sit there unmoving. If you ask them a question, they will preserve a solemn silence, and no matter how many times you ask, they will only ever say the same thing. They cannot defend their message.
That's the part you like. The defense of your words.
All who speak should defend their words if questioned about them. That is why I choose to speak and not write. That is why any words of mine that last beyond my final breath will be those that people choose to remember. Those words will be true wisdom and not an illusion.
What's your plan now?
After I return to Athens, there's much I need to consider.
You'll be careful, right?
If I have to choose between saying nothing and staying safe, or speaking up and risking my life, the choice is easy.
I should get going. I'm glad you're free.
As am I, although, if you allow me, there is something.
I doubt I could stop you.
We like to believe that action means progress, but it's control that's so truly desired. The more we do, the more control it seems we have, but the less we allow for others. If we grip too tightly, we'll find we've crushed what it is we're holding on to.
Meaning?
Meaning we must sometimes let life unfold without trying to influence the outcome.
I'll keep that in mind. I almost forgot. In your letter you said you had something to ask me. What was it?
You know, I've completely forgotten now. Take care, Kassandra.
Stay out of trouble, Sokrates.
All right. So I guess that is it for I was about to say Final Fantasy. For Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I mean, I've only got the one quest left, and like I said, I have no interest in doing it because it's not interesting in the slightest. It's just, well, it's not worth it anyway. I mean, I've almost got my ship fully upgraded. Oh, I can do more arrow volleys. Look at that. Oh, I can more arrow damage. Ooh, better ram, javelins. Why not? I mean, that'll probably. Oh no, I can actually get the ram damage. All right, there we go. And I mean, that's what my ship's gonna end as, because unless I do a new game plus, I don't know if the new game plus with the ship would carry over though. Probably, but obviously don't know that. Oh, is that who I just defeated? Yeah. All right, so yeah, that's it for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. As far as I'm aware, there's no more DLC coming. There's no more like big DLCs like the Fate of Atlantis or that. There's no more Lost Tales of Greece. I might look up. No, I doubt it, because I mean, this actually came out a week or two ago, I think. And I was just waiting for a place in my video schedule to put it, and I figured today would be good enough. I mean, it's not ideal, but you know, I didn't want to, it's not so much that I didn't want to put it there, it's just I didn't want to, I don't know. I didn't want to put it off any longer, and I couldn't see a point where one video would fit in, right? Or just like a solo video like this, so that's why it ended up here instead of another Uncharted. But you know, hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me, and I don't end and I don't end Lost Legacy on like a Wednesday. But whatever. So yeah, that's probably the last we'll see of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like I said, it's so tempting to hit New Game Plus and go, but it's just such a long game. Because, you know, I will have to go and do every location again. I won't be satisfied just doing quests. So, yeah. I mean, I doubt I'll do it, but even if I do, it's not like you guys will see it. So, yeah. That'll be it for now, at least. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And your next Lost Legacy Let's Play will be on Friday.